Hey everyone, this is Brendan Erickson, West Regional Sales Manager with SPS. And we're here going to do a fun kind of podcast recording with one of our very favorite premier vendor partners, Össur. And I've got my soulmate and sidekick, Liz Hillen, our premier orthotics clinician. So say hi.
And prosthetics. Hi there. Glad to join you.
Thank you. And so we have Steve Hoover. Why don't you introduce yourself real quickly?
Hi, everybody. Steve Hoover, certified prosthetist and clinical specialist at Össur, and happy to join these guys here for a little bit today. Thanks.
And then we've got Johnny Matthews. Why don't you introduce yourself?
Johnny Matthews, a certified athletic trainer, along with a certified orthotic fitter. And I'm a clinical specialist with Össur, mainly in the East region, but I am a regional where I'll cover wherever I'm needed.
Awesome. The utility man. Come in and save the day. Okay, so let's jump into some products the Rio microprocessor knee.
Been around now for quite some time, and it's gone through several iterations, but pretty excited about some of the latest and greatest things that have been added. I actually started wearing Rio in Gen 1 and have worn all 3 generations of the knee, including the current, which is pretty neat. I did all of that prior to coming on board at Össur, so I was kind of a long time wearer. Really excited about some of the latest advancements. One of which has been very beneficial to me, and that's that it's weatherproof. So the adjustability and the way we're able to really tune this knee now to whatever patient requirements there are is really exciting.
Great to have your own personal experience, and if people want to experience this themselves, I assume as a clinician or the sales reps can schedule a demo with one of those products too, right?
Absolutely. All of our sales reps, we call them area managers, almost all of them should have a unit themselves that they can do demos with. We have other demo units available to them. They're happy to do that. And then if someone wants more information about the knee or wants to learn some of these, we actually have several courses available. All of that can be arranged through the area managers. And then when we do those live courses, typically one of us clinical specialists will come out and we will do a live fitting during the course.
That's awesome. I was a sales rep before a manager, and I always enjoyed the trials because I got to see the faces change. We would try a new product and oh my gosh, it was just like the coolest thing.
Stephen, you've something that, the fact that you can adapt that stance extension damping just for your selected activities is a huge bonus. I mean, that's a really great benefit with this technology. It differentiates itself with other technologies.
Even though it has kind of an automatic setting where you have the patient walk and it senses their gait and it kind of presets everything for you, which is great, we still have the ability to go in there and make little tweaks and changes that can really mean a big difference to the patient in how they walk, especially given very specific circumstances like what I described, where I want a certain thing out of a stair and ramp descent. I'm able to do that to accommodate my particular needs, and I can do that as well for any patients that are out there, which is really a lot.
Awesome. So let's turn over to Johnny. Why don't you talk to us about the features, benefits, and maybe something weird that we don't know about the Unloader 1X?
Well, the Unloader 1X, why did Össur come out with this new brace, this new Unloader brace? The reason we wanted to do it was we already had a pretty good product, but there were still some cons that we wanted to approach, and we wanted to utilize our internal personnel and external personnel along with our patient care and so forth. The 3 things they thought they really needed to work on after taking hundreds of surveys all over the country and world is the ease of use, because the traditional Unloader 1, if a lot of people have seen that product, it could be a lot to the practitioner's eye and or a patient. What they wanted to do is they wanted to make it easy for the patient to put on and easy for the practitioner to don that product, and then comfort. Obviously, one no longer has the old school medical grade gray. It's not as bulky, so what they did is they made it a more attractive gray color. It does come in different sizes and customs and so forth. Key features of it, obviously, the indications of it. So unicompartmental OA diseases, basically your medial, your lateral, your valgus, your varus, deformities, along with your degenerative meniscus injuries or acute meniscal injuries, you could use this brace for. It comes to your type of patient population. I'd like to just show a brief slide on how the brace works. The biomechanic function of this brace, as we see here, in my camera view, we have the proximal portion of it and the distal portion of it. The way it works, the bread and butter of this brace is the dynamic force system, basically the dynamic straps right here. As you see in this image, you see the weight bearing line here as my cursor's on there. That weight bearing line is shifted to the medial compartment. So the deformity is going to happen in that medial compartment. The hinge always goes on the affected side. That's how you're going to pick out this brace here. So as you see in this image here, you have the hinge on the affected side. You have the proximal cuff and the distal cuff to suspend the product. And then the hinge doesn't really do anything but keep the proximal and distal cuffs attached. Pretty much that's pretty all it does. As you go into that terminal, that 10 to 15 degrees of terminal knee extension, that's when those straps are going to engage, and it's going to pull that compartment open as you see in this image right here. So ease of use for this product. So as you see the ease of use on it, what we did, we no longer have the BOA system on the straps like the old one. So the BOA system used to be on the straps, so it can get caught on the pants, especially if a patient's wearing underneath the jeans or some type of pants, or they're active and it's rubbing against. That BOA system would break, and then you'd have to basically replace the entire strapping system. So now the BOA system's on the frame itself. It's way more rugged, more durable. It can take a beating, and if the pants or the material that they're wearing rubs against it, it's not going to move much. So it's going to keep that dosage through the day, so forth. The strapping system, before, you have to adjust and take all the slack out behind the person's knee, pretty much in that popliteal fossa, and that was very uncomfortable for a patient. Now everything can be adjusted anteriorly. You no longer have to worry about the posterior portion of the brace. Everything's anteriorly now. So if you are adjusting the straps depending on that patient's anatomy, we got these alligator tabs here. You no longer have to worry about cutting or keeping that bulk in the popliteal fossa. You make the adjustment here, and you can just fold it over. You put in the alligator tab, and you're good to go. Same thing with the distal portion. We do have another upgrade. So the Össur logo on the hinge. Before, the Össur logo was just in the middle of the hinge. This was the issue because you didn't have a good reference point to find that mid patella, because that's where you want to line it up when fitting a patient. So now they put the Össur logo exactly where you need to line the hinge up on the patient's joint lane, so forth. The clips, a lot easier. Same as the old one per se to the color. So yellow goes to yellow, blue goes to blue. Very simple for the patient.
Since you're speaking about the dial, does that dial, how many turns that you make, does that correlate to degrees of correction or unload?
The amount of unloading you want to apply to that compartment. If you can kind of see it here, that's your dosage scale. You'll see as I start to do it up here, see that yellow? That will give you your dose.
Great.
So you want to get it to about that middle section when you are initially fitting a patient, and then over time, as it starts to they break it in, you're going to want to give it a little more. They can.
Great. And is that an average of unload, like a percentage?
It's all patient compliant, and it's all patient tolerant, because one patient might be able to crank this all the way down, and some may only be able to put it a little bit. But when we are talking about our products, especially the unloader products, you want to have a break-in period. So the first day, maybe wear it for 6 hours, second day, 8 hours, third day, and you want to work your way up slowly. Because if you just wear this thing, oh, it's working, it's great, and they wear it for 24 hours a day, they're going to start getting some tissue breakdown. They're going to start getting maybe some pressure points because their skin hasn't built up to it. The patient itself, before you used to have to back down the BOA dials to be able to get it off. Now, if a patient has it at a specific dose that they like it at, they just unclip these, and that's it. They take it off. They don't touch anything else. They take it back. They clip it back in. Good to go. They don't have to worry about taking the dosage off or trying to readjust it and so forth. So very easy, patient compliant, very practitioner compliant. Any other questions?
No, I like what you said. Meniscectomies or patients with meniscal tears. That's a patient population that we often forget about. We think more severe OA to unload, but a patient who's had a meniscus tear would benefit very well from a device like this and the relief that we're looking for. So I think that's a population clinicians sometimes forget about.
No, exactly. The unloader one, still, if it works for you. Don't change anything if it works. But this product, it's still new to the market. It released not too long ago, and we're having a lot of success with it.
Great, man.
Oh, excellent.
Let's throw it back down to Steven, because I can see over there, he's so excited to tell us about the Balanced Foot S.
We have a few things in the K2 marketplace, but we really needed something to kick that up a notch. And so the Balanced Foot S fits that bill for us. It is a C-shaped fiberglass foot. It is split toe. It follows very similar formats to our ProFlex line of foot. So the foot plate's wider, has a lot of the same stability characteristics that the ProFlex family offers, and which really can benefit not only the affected limb, but the sound limb of the patient as well. And what really is going to separate this from, I think, the rest of the field is the fact that we have added the shock and torsion unit to it. In addition to that, the Unity system is also available if you want to fit them with VAC, and the Unity is retrofittable. And so that is a nice feature for these feet as well, because you can fit this patient with a foot right out of the gate after an amputation when they're still changing shape and going through all of those processes. And then once they've stabilized and you're ready to fit them with another socket, if you want to offer them vacuum, you can and just add the pump to the foot. Unlike our carbon feet, which typically are black, this one is glass, so it could make it any color we wanted. So the torsion ball and the foot product itself is gray, and it is a C-shaped design, which I think is becoming much more popular in our industry right now. But our initial testing results here in the US have been very, very good. 17 patients were actually K3, not K2. And 15 of the 17 picked the Balance S over their foot. 3 of the K3 patients picked this foot over what they were wearing as well. So very smooth walking foot.
That group, what were their comments? What were some of the key characteristics that they pointed out?
That most of them were in that kind of maybe lower K3 or upper K2 segment. And so when we look at carbon feet versus fiberglass has a much slower, the frequency of the product is actually quite a bit lower.
That's great. What's the weight limit on the foot?
I believe, if I'm remembering correctly, that it is 324. So not quite up to our 365 with the carbon feet, but pretty close.
Yes. Empty the pockets before you weigh.
Special thank you to both Stephen and to Johnny and my counterpart Liz over there.
We really appreciate it, and anything we can do to support your products and help with the education in the field with the customers, we are all for it. So again, thanks for joining us, and we appreciate that. And we look forward to working with you further.
And I've been on some webinars with you guys in the past as well, and you guys are always have great questions. You're always willing to learn, and we appreciate that, and we learn from you as well. So appreciate everything.
All right, take care, everyone. Thank you for watching.
Take care.
All right,
Thanks,
thank you.
Johnny and Steven. See ya.
Welcome.